is Valley News Live at 6.
The G20 summit is over and President Donald Trump is on his way back to Washington after his second trip abroad since taking office. Now, at the center of the three-day trip was his first face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Follow-up from that meeting continues tonight. NBC's Jay Gray has been following the story from Hamburg, Germany, and brings us the latest.
President Trump leaves Europe, his second overseas trip in office framed by cheers in Poland and protest at the G20 summit in Germany.
We're going to be doing a lot of deals together.
The president met with several world leaders on the sidelines of the conference. But it was his sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin that grabbed the world spotlight and seemed to define his visit. The two leaders talking for more than 2 hours, covering a wide range of topics. Speaking publicly for the first time since their meeting, Mr. Putin today confirmed that he was questioned repeatedly by President Trump about Russian hacking in the 2016 election.
TV Trump is very different from the real Trump, from the Trump I had before me.
As he has for months, the Russian leader denied any involvement.
He asked me questions, I answered, I clarified, and I think that he was satisfied with my answers.
The White House has said the president only agreed to move to other topics after pushing the issue for 40 minutes. Mr. Trump's only public comment since their discussion came this morning as he met with British Prime Minister Theresa May.
I had a tremendous meeting yesterday with President Putin, and we've had really great meetings with a lot of people.
20 individual meetings in 3 days, according to the White House, as the president works to establish his administration's spot on the world stage. Jay Gray, NBC News, Hamburg.
President Trump will return to Europe next week, traveling to Paris at the invitation of the French president for Bastille Day ceremonies. It has been a gorgeous day here in the Valley, but your Valley News Live Storm Team is keeping their eyes on the sky and radar for tomorrow. Storm Team meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli is here with what you need to know. Justin?
And thank you, Cornelius, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, really nice day today, and it was really warm for this time of year. Normal temperatures near the 82-degree mark, and we are at 87 right now in Fargo, 88 at Jamestown, 83 at Devil's Lake, and 79 out toward Bemidji, with 90s stretching into portions of western North Dakota. Wind mainly from the north or west between 5 and 15 miles per hour with slightly higher gusts, especially into northwestern Minnesota, and most of us are seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, just a few passing showers in extreme portions of northeastern Lake of the Woods County and getting into the Devil's Lake Basin. But that's basically it for the moisture as we go through this evening. We are going to see sunny skies turn mostly clear as we go through this evening. Evening plan's not that bad out there. Temperatures mainly into the 70s, but we are tracking a severe risk as we go through the day tomorrow. We'll have much more on that coming up in Maine weather. That's later in the newscast.
Thanks so much, Justin. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecast conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNO Weather in the App Store and download it for free. It may seem like there's been a lot of rain over the last few weeks because of storms, but for the year, the amount of rainfall is well below average. Our reporting Maddie Jelseth shows us how the lack of rain is having an impact not just on crops and livestock, but nature as well.
The Game and Fish Department says there aren't a lot of wildlife species that are drought tolerant. And with no rainfall, it's a concern to wildlife habitats in the state.
You want the best habitat conditions out there. You want the most amount of cover for nesting conditions.
The amount of rain also affects the number of insects in the area, which hinders bird diets.
Insects are a very important portion of birds, young birds' diet for about the first 3 weeks of their life. And so without that, it makes it that much more difficult for those birds to continue to survive.
The Game and Fish Department says if we don't even get a little bit of rain, bodies of water like this can evaporate into nothing.
We're at a record number of fishing lakes in North Dakota. That's the great news. But if this continues, a lot of our shallow lakes, we could lose them, especially come winter.
Game and Fish says any rain will help all wildlife. Reporting for NBC North Dakota News, I'm Maddie Jelseth.
A fun summer tradition in Fargo kicked off today. Red River Market was so busy, it was a fight to find a place to park, but those that got close got a taste of what the area has to offer. The event hosts more than 65 vendors serving everything from vegetables to soap and beer. That local connection has been what attracts people to the market for the third year in a row.
Yeah, people like to shop local. People like to be able to see the person that they're making a transaction with and know who they are and where their farm is. And especially with the local food co-op opening, it's been a big week for community food.
The market is open from 10 to 2 every Saturday until October. A reminder for you tonight, don't mess around with wild animals. A visitor to Theodore Roosevelt National Park was injured by a bison on June 30th. A park official says a 65-year-old man from Alaska was hiking on the Buckhorn Trail in the park when he came across a bison. While he was taking a picture of it, the bison turned and charged toward the man, knocking him out and cutting his left inner thigh. 2 high school baseball teams are showing support for another student athlete hurt badly in a car accident. Connor Flatten goes to Hope Page High School. He was driving his truck with his sister and niece when the vehicle crashed, putting him in a coma. Now, while his condition has improved, he has not regained consciousness. In a show of support, both Hope Page and their opponents, Gardner High School, decided separately to wear jerseys printed with Connor's number, 17. When they showed up to their game last night, both teams got the welcome surprise of some mutual solidarity. If you would like to support Connor, a benefit is planned for August 13th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the American Legion on Still Avenue in Hope, North Dakota. Have you ever wanted to try yoga but thought it could use some more swearing and booze? Probably not. Well, we might have a class in mind for you. CrossFit, Ice House, and the Drecker Brewing Company work together to create Viking Yoga. The class offers less of the spiritual aspect of yoga and a more casual environment with beer served during the session. You don't have to be an expert to attend, but you may need some thick skin.
Middle fingers will be flying, we're laughing, we're having a good time. You have a beer in your hand if you want one. You can wait till after class or you can have it during class. We just really try to encourage people to come and just try out yoga. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not for you, but you can hang out with some really awesome people, have a beer, and just have a good time doing it.
I might try that out. The classes are held once a month. They usually know the day of the week a few weeks ahead of time, so keep an eye on the Ice House and Drecker Facebook pages. It's time for a What Is It? A new restaurant in town has popped up near the Morehead Center Mall, replacing Sorello's. This spot aims to give its customers something a little different, and Valley News Team's Clinton Rose tells us what they have had to overcome to get to this point.
IDK is a new fine dining and casual lunch restaurant, serving everything from lamb chops to swordfish.
Something different. Everyone's looking for a different experience and a different taste.
Those unique dishes and extra flair are what restaurant owner David Hoffman hopes will keep people eating out on the Minnesota side of the border instead of taking their business to Fargo.
Because Morehead's been wanting more restaurants, more fine dining places, and we just happened to stumble across this place.
After David and everyone else involved in the project found the location, they got to work renovating and fixing up the place to make it somewhere warm and welcoming. They also credit their employees with making this dream restaurant of theirs a reality.
I don't think we could have a better crew. It's they've come out of the woodwork. We didn't think that we would have this much of a reaction, but I think it was just meant to be.
Some good workers and unique palates that they hope will put them a cut above the rest. In Morehead, Clinton Rose, Valley News Live.
That place is great. You should check it out. Coming up after the break, what's making headlines around the world and our nation. Plus, Justin over there, he has your weekend weather forecast.
And we were dry and warm today, a high into the upper 80s. Now, we are going to get some rain into portions of our forecast areas for tomorrow. We'll start with that and full weather coming up next.